Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I will be introducing you how to construct an 8 asset portfolio. This investing.com, a widely available place you can download the historical data of the stock you want to analyze. And now I will try to find the stock VHN, which is Vinhome, one of the big list corporations in Vietnam. Now let's see. And this is the page of the stock. You want to click onto the historical data and the data will appear down here. Just wait. Okay, it's here now. And you can freely choose the time period you want to analyze. I just apply this and then I click download. And here you're done. And this is the file you just download. And we also have to make some arrangement, some adjustment to this data so we can use. So I want to arrange this date and closing price from the earliest day to the latest days, and this is how I will do it. I will count the number of the observations over here. It's like 20 observations, and now I will assign the number. Okay, you can see it here. And then I want to sort and filter it. I will arrange it from smallest to largest. And it's done now. You can use it. We'll use this data to calculate the daily return of each stock. Now, first with BID, type in LN and divide the price of the later day over the price of the day before, and then you double click to apply the formula to the whole column, and you will continue to do the same for all other stuff. So I will speed up here. I really love this formula because it's extremely easy to understand and also very clear, and you can easily master it. However, there are also many other formulas you can use, but this is the one I choose. And we'll continue that. We'll get all the daily returns for the 8 stocks. Remember this, only the daily return. Will have to analyze this return later on to calculate for our portfolio. And yes, we are nearly done now. Yes, okay. So we will move on to calculate the annual returns. And the function I use, I already put it in here for you to see. We have to copy the daily return we calculate before to this sheet, and you use the function I write over here. And yes, we have the annual return for BID here, and then we apply it to the whole row. And now we will check if the formula is right for each stock. Okay, it's all right now. So let's move on to calculate the annualized standard deviation for each stock by using the square root function and the variance of sample function. First, type in the square root function, and then we will be using the variance of sample function. Also, remember to multiply this by the number of trading days, and in our case, it's 252 days. And yes, just click enter. And here is the annualized standard deviation of the stock BID. Apply the formula to the whole row and you have it here. I will do a little check here. Yes, it's right for the RE. And also move on to the variance of each stock. Simply use the function variance of sample. Multiply, remember to multiply it by the number of trading days. So I want to do a little check up if the standard deviation and variance I calculate is aligned or not. I will check this by using the square root function. Okay. And And yes, just apply the function here. Okay, we have the right answer. And now I will simply apply the variance of sample function to the whole row here. Okay. Check it here, REE and also DHG, they all have the right one. So now we will calculate the Sharpe ratio. One very important component of Sharpe ratio is the risk-free rate, which is 2.991% here. I already searched and put it here, so you can use it. So now the Sharpe ratio, we will be using the annual return minus the risk-free rate, and then divide this excess return by the standard deviation of each stock. Voila, we have the Sharpe ratio for BID now. And then we will do the same here. We will apply this to the whole row and also do some check. Okay, so it's done. We will move on to the next part. So now we will calculate the covariance and correlation matrix. I will be using the data analysis tool in the data bar, and now we will choose the covariance. So the input range, first of all, it will be the daily return of the 8 stocks. So please remember to choose the labels in the first row. And then the output range will be the place I put it here for the matrix to be. Okay, just press OK, OK again. And our job now is to fill out all the blank for the table to work. So I will be using the transpose function to transpose all the data. Oh, I made a mistake here, so let's do it again. Okay, highlight all the cells you want to transpose your data into, and then highlight it, and yes, transpose. Please remember to run this transpose function, you need to use the Control Shift Enter for it to run. You cannot just press enter. And now I will just repeat the process. I will speed it up a little bit from here. Okay, we have the covariance matrix now, and then we will move on to the correlation matrix, also using the correlation tool in the data analysis. And the input range is the same, the daily returns of the 8 stocks. Put it here. Remember labels in the first row. And the input range will be the place I allocate for the correlation matrix over here. Just press OK. OK the second time, and our job again to fill out this whole table. So you know the drill, we will be using the transpose formula again, so I will also speed up a little bit here. So please remember to use a Control Shift Enter for the transpose function to run. And yes, really be careful with the column you choose to transpose, or else the data, it will be mismatched. Okay, now we have both the covariance matrix and correlation matrix. I will copy this and paste it to the efficient frontier and capital allocation line sheet, and we will be using this a lot later on. So this is the covariance matrix. Okay, so I also need the column. I will be using the transpose again to have the name here. It's really quick. Okay, and also the correlation matrix, just copy and paste it very easily. Let's go paste it now. Okay, so we have all the setup we need to calculate and draw the efficient frontier and CAL now. So now we will start by find the portfolio with the maximum Sharpe ratio. So first I will assign this random weight to each of this stock. You don't need to be stressful about it, really just any number. And remember to sum all of this weight. So now for the expected return, I will be using the function sum product. So the first array is a weight of each stock, and then the annual return we calculate earlier. Okay, we have the expected return here. Now to the most complex function of this session is the function to find the portfolio standard deviation. So first of all, square root and then MMULT function. Okay, just follow me. And then the first array is the weight of each stock. And then it will be the covariance matrix. The closest. And we will use the transpose on the weight of each stock too, multiplied by the number of trading days. And ta-da, we have the portfolio standard deviation. And now we will calculate the Sharpe ratio, also the expected return minus the risk-free rate we have here, and divide by the portfolio standard deviation. So now we will find the true max Sharpe ratio with the solver. First, I will reset my solver here. So the objective will be the Sharpe ratio, and I want to maximize it, and the variable will be the weight of each stock. So always remember the weight of all the stock must equal 1 or 100%. And then I want my portfolio to invest at least 1% in each stock. So this is my second constraint. I add it also here. And then you can press OK. Just paste it. OK, and that's OK. And now please remember to choose the GRG nonlinear, and then we will solve it. So this is the portfolio with the maximum Sharpe ratio. And now we will move on to calculate the portfolio with a minimum variance. Also, we will repeat the process to set up. So now just do it like before, this random weight, random percent, and then also the sum product to calculate the expected return. So this part I will speed up a little bit because it is the same as before. So now we will continue using solver to find the minimum variance portfolio. Our objective is to minimize the portfolio standard deviation by changing the weight of each stock over here. And now continue to our constraint. Remember, I want each stock must have 1% in my portfolio. So this is my first constraint over here. And then also the sum of all the weight of the stock must equal 1. Okay. And now we will press solve. And this is the weight of the stock that gives us the portfolio with the smallest variance. So now we move on to simulate the return and standard deviation to draw the efficient frontier. Also, this will be set up just like the two portfolio before. This random number for the weight of each stock, and then sum product for the expected return. Okay. And then we also use the square root and the same function to derive the portfolio standard deviation. Just remember to choose the correct array is the weight of each stock and the covariance matrix. So now you have to check it again if the formula is right, because this portfolio standard deviation will be using for simulation, and if it's wrong it will affect your result. So move on to the Sharpe ratio. Just like before, the expected return minus the risk-free rate and then divide by the portfolio standard deviation. Okay, so move on to the random array over here. I will be using the rand function. So this will help you to assign random weight to your stock. Remember to sum all of these rand function here, all the cell with rand function. Now the weight, you will first this cell with the rand function and then divide by the sum of the rand function. Remember to log the cell with the sum of all rand function. And yes, you have the random weight for each of the stock. Now, this will be using for the simulation table. I will be simulate 1,000 observation for portfolio return and portfolio standard deviation. And I will be putting two anchor values as you can see here, the portfolio standard deviation and portfolio return. And all of this, I will be using the what if analysis and the data table in the what if analysis. You can see here to simulate 1,000 simulations. Okay. So you can see the pop-up here, choose the column 1, click into any cell and press OK. And this is your 1,000 simulations of portfolio returns and portfolio standard deviation. And from this, I will click insert and choose scatter chart to draw the efficient frontier. You right click and then you choose select data. You just remove all of this and you will choose the data yourself. So now let's name the series efficient frontier. Okay. So the X value or the horizontal value will be the portfolio standard deviation. Just to the cell with number, not the name, okay? The Y value or the vertical line will be the portfolio return. Press OK. And this is our efficient frontier. You can see here is a parabol. And this is success. So let's move on to the last part of this video, capital allocation line. I will assign 3 weights first, which is 0, 100%, and 200% for my risky portfolio. So to calculate the return of the risky portfolio and the risk-free asset, I will be using this formula. I put it here. So first, 0 multiplied by the expected return of the risky portfolio. Please remember to lock this cell or else it will be wrong for you to run on other cell. And then 1 minus the weight of the risky portfolio and then multiply by the risk-free rate. And the standard deviation, remember, only the risky portfolio has the standard deviation. The risk-free asset is assumed to be risk-free, which means the standard deviation equals 0. So now you can see, please remember to lock the cell. Okay, and now we will apply it to the 2 column here. Okay, and now I will be using the function random to assign random weight less than 1 for about nearly 500 observations. For the last 500 simulations, I will be invest more than 100% my money into the risky portfolio. So I will just change my formula a little bit. You can copy me. And now we have the weight. Okay. Now we can just double click and our table is finished. Finally. So you have the capital allocation by simulation now. Now I will draw it, right click and then select data again, add, and name this series capital allocation line. And the value same as before, the standard deviation of the portfolio. Only choose the cell with number. And the Y value, the vertical line, is the portfolio return, same as before. Only choose the cell with number. Please remember it. It's really important that you choose the right cells. Okay, so now we are finished. This is our efficient frontier and the capital allocation line. So thank you. So see you next time.